welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome one, welcome all to another edition, to another installment, and a Friday edition of Hashtag Fade to Black. I am your host, Donna Alamonte Morris. I got my hoodie on. It's cold up in here. Here with Beast Johnson. We hold it down for now. But how you doing, Beast?
Tired, but in good spirit.
Oh, that's good. That is great. But everybody else, Ania Joe, aka Teach, and Mayo will be coming in a little bit later in the show. But y'all know how we get started. Yeah. So y'all know how it goes. So the first part of the show, we have our opening statements for anybody who's new to watching the show and for who've been rocking with us a long way. You know how we do. But before we head on into that, I want to introduce our sponsor for the first half of the show, and that's Cheddar Boy Popcorn. The other night, I went to go and visit them, and I got some new bags of that nice, good old goodness popcorn. The only black-owned, listen to me, y'all, the only black-owned popcorn company here in Washington. You can go to that website. Here's one of their newest flavors. Look at that.
Now, does it have a wet wipe on the back?
Actually, he took it off. So I gotta tell him, got to put that back on there. I know.
You gotta get that back on. Like, that's
so. Yeah.
That's
so
that right there is just worth its weight in gold. Niggas eat that shit up.
And then we got their other flavor too as well. Jalapeno cheddar. And I'm gonna show you the other one. I've been munching on it ever since I got it. As you can see the bag. The cheesy pizza. But enough of me, swagging out.
We're gonna have to get it. Yeah, because you making me feel some kind of way. Like I'm thinking, like, how many keys I gotta sell in order to get me enough money to start a franchise here?
Right.
This nigga showing all the popcorn. Like, it takes too long for me to get here. I want a franchise. I want to go up the street and get me some of that damn popcorn.
on that beast.
Wait, North Carolina. No, I know you franchise. What you saying, North Carolina?
Once again, sponsored by Cheddar Boy Popcorn this first half of the show. But let's get into the opening statements.
As I stated earlier, I'm tired. But I'm a tired man because I work incessantly. Because I have a dream. I have a goal that I have clear focus about. And I understand what I need to do to maintain my life while moving forward towards that goal. So that involves a lot of work. I'm the definition of what the black women be looking for. Hard working black man. I work 2 jobs. I have my own business. I'm also a musician. I do songwriting. I arrange music by bass. I'm also an artist. I'm helping start a new t-shirt design line. I do a lot of shit with this 7 days a week. This ain't the weed that got me looking like this. I don't get no sleep. I said, do you get any rest? No. Rest is for the dead. You get rest when you've done what you need to do, when you achieved your goal. I haven't achieved my goal yet, so there's no need for me to get any rest. I just need to maintain a little sleep. That's it. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but this is the type of drive and focus that we must have when we move forward and when we have any goal, such as the black goal of no police brutality and equal rights. If you say we have a goal, any goal requires motivation, self-motivation, and endurance and stamina. Because it's going to be many days and weeks where your face looks like this, where your eyes look sunken in, because you get no rest. But rest is not the goal. Rest is not the prize. So stay strong. Get a little caffeine in you. Take your power naps when you can. But keep your mind still to focus on the goal at hand because you will achieve it. People notice the effort and they notice the work. And that's those individuals are the individuals you see on the marathon sides with the cups of water. Appreciate it. Whew. Keep it moving. Keep it focused. The help will come. And your goal will be achieved. Let's enjoy the show.
Once again, every time I'm after anybody for open statement, their open statement is pretty good. So I open my statement with this. If you have a voice, I'm not talking about singing. I mean, if you have a voice that you want the world to hear, that you got something that you want to show to the world, make it happen for yourself. You will have your doubters. That's a given. They are the ones when anything or any idea that you say, they will come back with 10 reasons why it's not going to work. You can even ask them, tell me one reason why my idea won't work. They will come back with 9 and you ask for 1. I'm talking with people who's in music. I'm talking about people doing what I'm doing, just having a show, or just want to make movies. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to wave your hand at Hollywood and be like, hey, or go to LA or go to Atlanta to start a hip hop career or anything like that. You can start right now. I just love these gurus that are finally making a name for themselves, making a little bit of money, got a platform, like the podcasters out there. Like now all of a sudden they got ebooks on how to start a podcast. These are the strategies you need to get this and get that, to get this, get that, to make money. I'm about to give you a secret, not only just to podcasting, but to anything you want to do to make your life better or a dream you want to accomplish. You know what that secret is? Do it. Just do it. No pun intended to Nike. Or that one video that went viral. I forgot that boy's name, but he was the star of Holes, if anybody, like Disney, who said, just do it. Make your dreams come true. And he's right. Shia LaBeouf, whatever his name is, I know it came close. Just do it. Nobody's not going to make your dream come true but you. Why do you think you got the Bill Gates of the worlds, or Oprah Winfrey's of the worlds, or Michael Jackson when he was here on this earth today, how he got so powerful and so influential around the world? Because he just did it. I think IC said it right. I'm going to paraphrase the post that he sent. He said you can listen to all the motivational quotes or videos you want to, but the only way to make it happen is if you get off your ass. And he's right. We live in a world of what if isms. What if this? What if that? What if this? What if that? But we don't go out there to turn it into a win. We worry about the if, but we never talk about the win. And you know what win rhymes with? Win. W-I-N. We was always taught our imagination is only for kids, only for children. That there's a time where your mind is young and you want to be Superman and you want to be a fireman, or you want to be a army soldier, or all these things. But then when they say when you get a certain age, you gotta stop. And I came to that point of like, as an adult, why should I stop using my imagination? Why can't I picture myself in that nice F-150? Why can I not picture myself owning that big skyscraper? Why can I not picture myself helping my people, giving them jobs? Why can I not picture myself in that nice house on the hill? Why can I not picture myself with that nice, sexy woman right there having nothing? She having nothing but my kids and living on my legacy. Why should we stop using our imagination when we hit a certain age? You want to know why the rich stay rich? Even though they come up with schemes and all that stuff. But besides all that, but you know why the rich stay rich and continue to make money? Because they use their imaginations. They kept seeing themselves in these positions and they finally got to do it. And they got with other people that use their imaginations to help them get there, to help each other out. So what I'm telling you all in a nutshell, if you have a dream, you got a drive and a focus that you need the world to see, you can start right now. You can start right now. If you want to do what I'm doing, do your research. I'm going to let you know StreamYards, or if you want a podcast, Spreaker, and see, and that was free. You have to have the will and find the way, and don't let nothing stop you. You don't have to be in Hollywood to be an actor. You don't have to be part of Warner Brothers record label group to be a rapper. But let's go ahead and get to the show. I know Beast is ready because I know I'm ready. So let's get into our main story. Not what I wanted to do. I had you up on there by yourself, but it was just me. All right. So Beast, our topic for today is Black YouTube versus Black mainstream. So there has been a lot of going back and forth on the new Black media and then the old Black media, and I want to break that down on this show. And we was kind of talking about it before the early part of the show. So I got this video right here by Roland Martin, who I actually do look up to, and I'm actually happy that he
still got a platform.
Yeah, he still got a platform and still doing this thing. So I'm gonna see if I can wind it back some so that Facebook don't drop it down. So here is that clip that sums up what this show is what we're going to be talking about in this show today. So let me go ahead and turn up so everybody can hear.
And I didn't really mean to go here. I know we over our time. I got to go ahead and say this. It's a whole bunch of sorry-ass people who call themselves new Black media, who all they do is sit behind a damn camera and behind a desk, and you ain't never seen them at any events. Let me just go ahead and say that. Okay. See, I don't just stand behind this table. I actually go out and talk, or actually go to places like Selma, go to Montgomery, go to Birmingham, go where folks are. See, that's what we do on Roland Martin Unfiltered. So the rest of y'all out here who call yourselves new Black media, why don't y'all do what old
Is this like a hole in the cane?
And go actually talk to Black people and not just behind
water bottle.
Go actually cover something.
Okay.
Great where the people are and talk to the people. Because see, some folks play at this. I chose at 14 to be a journalist. I don't play at this. Okay. This is what I committed my life to do. And so that's why we want you to support what we do, because we're about covering our story from our perspective and not just sitting here just chat, don't cover nothing. So for those of you, we want to be able to fund folks to be on the campaign trail. We're out there doing interviews with people as well. And so that's what our focus is. So that's how we roll on this show. And if there's some of you out there who didn't like my commentary on this very issue today, I don't really give a damn if you didn't, because you know why? You ain't a real journalist, and I am. Holla. All right, folks.
And that sums up what today's show is going to be, because Roland Martin does bring up a lot of points. in that.
It does.
Because you got a lot of people out here, you know, a lot of I'm gonna use the music game for example. Like when anybody that is hot that comes out, I'm gonna use Nicki Minaj for example. When Nicki Minaj first came out, she was the hottest thing. But then you had little industry rappers or underground rappers that says that no, I'm better than Nicki Minaj. I knew Nicki Minaj when she was not even Nicki Minaj. I'm hotter than her. Or the ones that apparently taught her how to rap. Like I told those bars. She stole that bars from me. That's what you see.
I can't wait till they put me on TV. I can't wait till these niggas be like, I taught that nigga how to write them rhymes. That nigga couldn't spit nothing for nothing before he met me. Word.
Right. And I see that happening on YouTube like all the time. And I'm not saying that as a bias for Roland Martin because I know the people who he's talking about. Because the person that he's talking about is the Black Authority. Now, the Black Authority, I used to listen to him when I say this term, I mean this loosely. I used to listen to him religiously. I didn't praise him and think everything he said was true. Because he with Roland Martin, there are things that he talked about that I don't agree with, that things that he says I agree with. So let's go ahead and keep that in perspective. But then the Black Authority, who self-proclaimed called himself the new black media, was coming at Roland saying that he's basically all for the Democrat Party and that he don't look out for black folks at all, which I'm trying to figure out what part of the world was he in because Roland Martin does have his foot in the game. Why are you trying to come at somebody? You know, it's like me coming into the
I give you equivalent.
Yeah.
I guess he's about to say rap. It's KRS-One. The KRS-One is one of those individuals, whenever he speaks on anything, no matter how salty you might feel, he has the educated right to say it. And he's earned the clout streetwise to be able to get away with it. Anyway, so that's like every so like when it come to him, that's like new rappers nowadays to come in and be like, who is KRS-One or why he feel the need to speak on what I'm doing? He old, he don't know what's, he ain't got no opinion and nothing like that. It's like, well, this man has earned his right to say what he wants to say. And no matter how you might feel about it, he comes from a educated, respectful place. So there's no like true hate in his heart. If he says, nigga, you garbage.
Right. I mean, he is he's one of the forefathers to hip hop. You got to put that to account. He got
considered the blueprint.
Right. He got his foot in the game. Yeah.
He established many footings.
Right.
And the things that we feel like we have to do, prerequisites to feel like we are rappers or we can sustain in this industry, he set that up. Right.
And so the point that I was trying to make with Roland Martin, and yes, I'm talking about Roland Martin, him against the new black media, the Black Authority. Mm-hmm. So now Roland Martin did have a point when he says that this is his realm, this is his world, he's all about it. It's like me trying to come at, how can I say it? It's like me trying to go at Oprah Winfrey and sit there and says, hey, I'm the new mogul now of media now. I got the talk show now. I got the juice, but I'm doing it on this platform right here that don't even like scratch the surface of what she gets a day.
Or what she has done in a day.
Right. And so that's why I feel about the Black Authority. And the funny thing is, Black Authority, when Roland Martin was first starting up on YouTube, when he was first starting on there, he didn't get all those up. I remember Roland Martin used to only had 20,000. Only 20,000 views. Not 20,000 views, but like only 20,000 subscribers. And this was before he started his digital platform now. And now look where he's at. He even surpassed the Black Authority. He's been on YouTube longer than Roland Martin. The last time I checked, Roland Martin had 714,000 714,000 subscribers. To the Black Authority, 113,000 subscribers. So for you to sit there and try to come at him like that, he can rap freaking run circles around you, and you still couldn't see. You know, it's like know where to put your dog in the fight and know that your dog ain't tough enough to take him out the fight. And with him being behind the camera, see, the only difference is between Roland Martin and the Black Authority, and not only just the Black Authority, but other platforms that come at him. And Billsy, I'm gonna get to you real quick after this point. But the thing is, when you think that you're talking about topics like we do on the show, we talk about topics, talk about the current events, that don't make us a journalist. But when you try to go head up with the seasoned journalists, I'm not talking about a seasoned journalist that did for 5 years or 10 years. I'm talking about a journalist that been in it for 30 years, already got the shirt and hat and t-shirt, already got the awards and everything, who can get credentials to the White House just like that, no matter who's in. Now I'm playing with fire. And not to mention, you're not on boots on the ground to what is going on, to whatever big event that's going on, or even events that nobody knows anything about, because that's where the real market is. There's a lot of stories that's going on out there that nobody's talking about, and that could be your niche, but you don't do that. So why in the world are you gonna go heads up with somebody who has experience in the game, who got their skin in the game? He could basically say, I am the game, and you think you could just have your little followers come at him and try to say that he's a fraud, you know? And like I said, I'm not saying it out of defense of Roland Martin. And Bill says, let me go ahead and get at you real quick. This is my dog, by the way, everybody. You know, that's my battle buddy. And then I have Mayo step in. I vote say Roland Martin sucks. Roland Martin do speak truth, and he always keep it black. I mean, when he said keep it black, keep it real, he does that. But then there are some things like when he was criticizing Bernie Sanders, when Bernie Sanders was really coming through, and he was talking about progressives this and the progressives that. I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. Like, calm down. I was like, progressives are actually putting up much more of a fight and much more feasible, you know, how can I put it? Ideas, plans, alternative ideas and plans that the other establishment wasn't talking about. They talk about it for a little bit, but you knew what they were going to use it for the campaign trail and all that stuff. The progressive was like saying, no, we need this now. Roland was actually going against that. That's the biggest problem that I had with him. He was a big pro Hillary Clinton fan, which I'm not a big Hillary Clinton fan. So let's get that out of the way, because the only reason why I would never vote for Hillary Clinton, which I did not vote for Hillary Clinton, was that, number one, she screwed Bernie Sanders. But the main part before all that was she had soldiers go overseas to Iraq. She voted for it. Over 100,000 died. And then you're about to run. I think this was she first was running against then President Barack Obama. And then when she was questioned about it, she was like, I apologize. You know, I'm sorry for it. You know, sorry for elected, you know, saying yes. And I said, that's not good enough. Because when you voted, the one thing as a service member, and any service member that's watching this knows what I'm talking about. When a service member passes away, the toughest detail you got to do is you got to dress in your in our class blues, and you got to go to that service member's house and knock on the door and tell them their son, their daughter, their wife, their husband is not coming home. That's one of the worst details that any service member, no matter what branch, that is the worst detail that anybody can ever get, is when you have to tell a loved one or a relative that they're not going to be coming home. And I told a Hillary supporter on the Facebook, I said, that's the only way. If Hillary would do that and go to every single one of those service members' homes and apologize about that vote that she did, she would have had my vote. But honestly, she wouldn't have made it through three. She wouldn't have made it through three. She would literally either really regret what she did, or the regret of her decision will make her quit. And that's the biggest thing. What was that?
She uses denial to rise above it. I'm better than this.
Yeah, and that's my biggest thing with Roland Martin, that he just stuck with Hillary Clinton, and I was just like, come on, man, like really, you have to be smarter than that. So I don't think Billsley's still on. Hopefully he comes back on. But Mayo, what do you have to say about that?
Well, so you talk about Roland Martin. I'm not his biggest fan. I think he's a cool guy. I appreciate the success that he's made individual in his life. I think because we talk about black issues on this show, this is a space where we all feel like we come in and talk about our issues. So, when I think about black issues, I think that he's one of those whose individualism has risen to the top, to the point where he's so selfish. In my opinion, this is my assessment of watching him over time. So selfish that it's all about Roland. It's all about Roland's suiting and ascot, and how he want to look good and fun. And when he was working at CNN, and some people might deem the fact that I'm talking about all this as hating, but I'm just saying, I feel like there's the balance that we have to strike it in life when we start to see our stock start to rise. One is to how much are we giving to ourselves, and the other balance is how much are we giving to society? Are we doing for society? I mean, not our community. If you somebody who claims to be a black leader, and then you have to balance out how much given to society. And the part where I get disappointed the most is like issue of Bernie, how he attacked Bernie Sanders, knowing that the man that was speaking better for the man that spoke the most on issue that affect our community the most, he spoke against that guy for political expediency. When Roland was speaking for Hillary, he was looking at. I could only see him as someone who was looking at the opportunity that he's going to get to continue what he had in Obama's office when Obama was in office. He did not once criticize Obama. As a matter of fact, I think President Obama would internally feel like this a chump right here, dude that's just kissing butts or whatever. That's where I think President Obama would look at him, because it was like, oh, like daddy got in the White House. Now let's go see what we can get. And it was not. And this is someone who was working on CNN, who black people had come to believe in whatever it says, and because he was a reporter, black people had come to start listening to him, and people are hanging by what you say, by your voice. Like, let's just say this thing we're doing, we start to get some kind of following. A lot of people will start to listen to us. The last thing we can do, or the worst thing we can do, is to take advantage of that, or forget the fact that people actually believe us, and start using that platform to manipulate or to lie. And that's where I think that I'm disappointed in him. His job was not to be President Obama's cheerleader. We got a Democratic Party. I'm one of the people in the party. That's our job, to try to tell people like the good is doing. He can have both seat of the press and the Democratic Party channel. They can't have both. You know, that's part of what's wrong with our press today, where you got MSNBC and CNN, they only tell one side, and Fox will only tell the other side. So there's no the truth, which is in the middle most of the time, but it's never told. And that's why we have a divided country. Two sides are clinging to their sides. There's nobody that's willing to say, forget the parties. Let's talk about the people. And that's what I think I got a lot of when Martin was in there. Him and I forgot who was Al Sharpton. We talked about Al Sharpton the other day.
Al Sharpton. Yeah, Al Sharpton becoming very famous on this show.
Right. Well, I mean, I like Brother Al for the passion he has. Even Roland, I like the fact that he's picked his time in life to talk about Black issues. I mean, but it's just don't be one-sided in the sense of I look at it as like slavery mentality. Like don't be out there fighting for one master over another master. I'm trying to burn down both masters' houses and make sure that we all get we all. And I'm using my man Killer Mike's language by burn down both masters' houses. I'm speaking metaphorically, not that I'm trying to. I'm not encouraging violence or nothing, but I'm just saying metaphorically, burn down those both masters' houses and not sit down there and try to be some cheerleader for some master. Or he comes in and all he talks about is about the Republicans, and seldom in DC him talk about Democrats. And if it is, he just talks about the party as a whole, but he would never choose and pick on what a Democratic Black person has done, because he still wants to be cool with them. So because that's the only thing I could think, unless we think that they're perfect, because I know they won't think they're perfect. Because I think as Obama today, Obama say I made some mistakes. This is a place where I could be better. Roland's job was to tell us those mistakes, but Roland decided to not tell us because he felt like, oh, I got to be a cheerleader. I want to be the guy who I can make it to the White House whenever I want to. I can get a ticket to the Oval Office, and what all the things and all that. But that's not your space. Your space is to tell us what's going on. We're hanging on your breath for the facts. And when you tell us that Bernie Sanders is not the right guy, knowing that he was the right guy, he disappointed us. I mean, and I'll go ahead and say one more person, and people might not like this, but John Lewis, I felt disappointed in him towards the election when doing Hillary as well. I mean, this is someone who's given his life in civil rights and as a young man. But it seems like most of our people, when they get to Congress and Congress seeps into their life, and they get all the accolades and all the good things that come out of that, they kind of then I don't want to say they go from being someone who's a revolutionist to a reformer. We need revolution. We need drastic change in the way. That's why we're talking about Black Lives Matter. All the things, the systemic racism that we're talking about. We send y'all there to go change that, not to go massage it, not to go look at it and say, oh, what my life is doing better. Me and my family got good health care. Me and my family got good all this. Well, we're going to try to find incremental changes that we're going to do. No, we want to change now. So I get disappointed, and I don't put the whole body of work and throw them in the trash. I'm still someone who respects John Lewis, but if I'm asked, I'll say that the first half of his life I respect. The second half of his life, him denying. He said one the thing they said was that Bernie Sanders was not in the civil rights. He never saw him. Like Negro, you don't have to see. You don't have to see him. There's pictures of him chained to a Black woman, and it's obviously in the 60s because it don't look like 2020. So and I'm glad Jesse Jackson came out and spoke for Bernie Sanders, that saying that he didn't see him himself, but he heard about what he did, and he's appreciative of what he did. And this is when Bernie was running against Hillary. So because of a woman that was working for Goldwater, you went ahead and lied on a guy that was in the marching ranks with you just because he was white. That is not right. So so for me, I look at people like him, Ronnie Martin, and all that, because once you get within a party, there's that feeling, especially if you get elected or you get into the prominence, there's that you're a part of that group of that fraternity, so to speak, of Congress people and all that stuff, and we just seem to let them go because they forget so easy where they come from and what they fought, what it was they're fighting for. So that's my issue.
It kind of goes more than that, because how you feel about John Lewis is kind of how I feel about Jim Brown in regards to Kaepernick. Now, Jim Brown was a prolific activist and Black rights speaker of his time, and a prolific athlete to balance and boot. But to hear his statements now, in regards to Kaepernick when he was going through his mess. Is he senile? Has he got dementia?
What?
Like this ain't the same Jim Brown I grew up learning about and seeing, and I'm gonna get you sucker. Pulling big ass magnums on folks. I swear to God, if you hit my bunion, I'll blow your head off. Oh, my bunion. I swear to God, I'll shoot both of you. You just need some Epsom salt, baby. Ooh, it hurt. like that's the man I remember, and hearing that this man was, and then seeing those things as well. So like when you talk about John Lewis, it's more than just the black politicians, is the black martyrs and those who lived to tell the story. The black I would say the martyrs, the black survivors.
Mm-hmm.
And once you survived, you grow either complacent, numb, or somewhat Stockholm.
Right.
And so you do see that. And we just kind of understand that everything you see in one facet is an issue that transcends all black facets. It just may take time before it pops up in another avenue before you realize that there's actually an issue. So we have 2 verified instances of it. So now we should treat this as an issue and get to the solution.
But and I want to
acknowledging that. And I feel like what we as the old, the now, the young and the now, we should acknowledge their sacrifice, acknowledge their historical impact, acknowledge what they are known for doing. But know that as we move forward, people change, ideologies change. So you can't hold them in the same regard. You can't hold them as the ninth, like Jordan. We cannot look at Jordan 2021 like Jordan 96.
Right.
True.
Yeah. True. Go ahead, Mayo. Step on them.
I was just gonna say, and I'll chime in real quick and say, like even the Jim Brown thing, I don't know exactly how his quotes was. because I try to go with context. I don't like people get mad at Jim Brown because he supported Trump. I'm not one of those who's mad at him. I mean, like he has the right to feel whatever ways he wants to. If he wants to become a conservative, in a liberal world, whatever you want to call it, I don't care about that. The only thing I really care about is that when you lie, when you intentionally lie, because it's hard for me to see brother, what's his name? We're talking about
Roland Martin.
No, Roland Martin and the brother in Congress.
John Lewis.
John Lewis. Thank you, sir. It's hard to see John Lewis not seeing that picture because that's the first thing that came out about Brown. I mean, they asked about the picture, like, oh, how about the picture? He was, and they said, well, I don't know, but I ain't hear about him.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I don't know what he doing. I don't know what he's doing. I don't believe. He pretty much said, I don't believe that he did it. I was not there. Somebody, he just went and took the picture again and rolled it back 60 years. I mean, it's like that dude looked like the young him. I mean, and then we can't. It was him. So I mean, so that is hurtful because it's like that's truth. And to make it further more. Of a proof, and this is the most ironic, I guess I won't say funny situation when doing his funeral when Bill Clinton told a story about him. I don't know if you guys know about that part of what Bill Clinton said. He's so glad that one time when I keep forgetting his name when the congressman was when he first got in office. John Lewis was just got in office, and he wasn't. I think Bill Clinton was either in office then or was just right out of office. And he was saying that he had a conversation with him, and he felt like he was still very radical. And he said, but he's so thankful today that he didn't turn out to be like the Stokely Carmichaels of them. Like Bill Clinton did not think that black folks are still proud of Stokely Carmichael. I mean, so you know, you must telling us that. Oh,
he felt as though that reference wouldn't be offensive. It'd be more historical. Therefore, they wouldn't understand the true essence of what he was saying.
What do you mean? So he said like he.
When he said, "I'm glad he didn't turn out like a Stokely Carmichael." If folk would take it as a reference of, you know, he didn't know he made it out of the civil rights movement and survived, and no, he was saying like that he don't think the same way, and is in the position of power that he's in, he no longer has that same mentality.
Right. Well, I mean, but either way, you telling me that, you know, like, because I mean, that's who the people who have fought hard. Because I mean, if we had a lot more people fight hard like that, maybe we might not be ringing out Black Lives Matter like we're ringing them out today.
We will be going through what we're going through right now.
I mean, so that's what I'm saying. So I mean, so don't tell me that, you know, I mean, you know, a man that fought with all this and put his life on the road, on the streets, on the bridge, you know. And you know, they got beat down on that bridge that day. That same young man, there's that aggressive, that because he got to Congress, you know, and he became to start whining and dining with you, that you are thankful, you know, and he did not turn out like Stokely Carmichael, like all those radical blacks. I mean, that's pretty much what that got. And he got heat of that. But my point is that, you know, even Bill Clinton kind of threw a poo-poo on his grave at that time, not knowing that he was doing that. You know, in his mind, you know, oh, this is the right way.
It's a backhanded compliment.
Right.
He thought about this, and he thought about this and another dead man, a long dead man.
Right.
I bet
put
y'all
a little bit of grace on this new dead man.
I bet y'all just want to get over and hit him in the head, like, don't say that about me. You know, people get so proud about that.
So I'm gonna go ahead and add on to the Jim Brown thing, because I'm not gonna mention the story. I have to have the person on here about Jim Brown that I really just made me turn my head at him. So when Jim Brown, for me, this is for me, ladies and gentlemen, this is for me. When Jim Brown did go to Trump Plaza, after hearing that story, this is the story was told me even before all that. It summed it up for me for Jim Brown, because to me, when he went there, you forfeit all the improvements that you was fighting for when you stopped football. And once again, goes back to what I was saying in the other show. We hold other people in a different regard, but we got those other ones, the ones that we praise and look up to, and they do it. They're having an off day. So when Jim Brown went there, I said that's all I need to know about him. That's all. But and then to counteract with that too, how are you looking now for the past 4 years? Any improvement on blacks, police brutality, inequality? All that?
I mean, talking about how does that look for Jim Brown or for I mean, I don't get it, you know, because I want to.
It's the whole reference of hindsight being 2020. You go in there with that mentality and swagger of, I'm using my influence and name of Jim Brown, former civil rights activist,
and right, and with all that, nothing came forth for the past 4 years.
Well, I beg to differ on that, and I know, and like I say, I know that's my modus operandi on this.
Yeah.
I love to stand.
Somebody got to do it.
Yeah, there you go. You know, so I mean, so the thing about it for me, you know, because one of the things that pissed me off as soon as Trump got in office, one, he got in office. Two, the way black folks was acting. You know, like he at that point he was already in office. Ain't no amount of getting mad they're gonna turn that back at that point. It's almost like his guys right now, all that BS that we're doing last week, ain't no amount of all that stuff y'all doing, they're gonna turn. So when people act like, okay, it's the person who I don't want got in office, or I'm mad now. So my this is how I was so different, at least my opinion, from majority of other black folks I saw, you know, every day. Was this mindset again, you know, like you couldn't talk to him, couldn't meet with him, like Steve Harvey got in trouble for meeting with him, Kanye for supporting him. I feel we cannot all be in the same, especially if the room that we're in is not a room that where we actually getting what we want. It's not like we've never had a Democratic president. It's not like we've never had a black Democratic president. So all these things, I mean, so don't tell me now that we have one that's not of our own or of our preference. That do you see any ones of us talking to them that they can't talk. Because my thing is, we need people in the same in all the rooms. And if they were allowed without admonition and the way the outpour of hate that came towards them to go talk to them, God knows what would have gotten. You saying hindsight 2020? Well, guess what? Hindsight 2020. The moment they met with them, the next day they had to apologize for meeting them to the community. And this whole thing about let's even get deep into the Trump thing. He's an asshole. He did all the racial thing, including the what's the 5 guys in what's the name? Central Park Five. Yeah. And all these things he's done. I mean, it's not like nobody knows this thing. So now, fast forward to him being in office. Like there were people, good people on both sides. That's one of the dumb stuff he said. That was racial. The shithole country. That's one thing. Everything he's done has been sentimental things that he said. I challenge any black person today to tell me what policy that he made in America that there's an anti-black policy. I can wait. So
the only policy. See, you speaking of policies. The only policy would be. It's not even on his. It's just the only policy that has had any kind of functional conversation under his administration. And has no part with him, goes back to the whole, when you speak of Kanye. And my issue with celebrities in general is, if you're going to put yourself out there for that celebrity, have an end goal and actually come in there to say something. I don't like everything Kanye said, but the end result kind of did work out, because as a result of him doing what he did and then kind of having his wife piggyback off him on some Will Jada tip. They actually increased the conversation of prison reform and got the legal.
Well, I was going to get
that. Like, that's the only thing for Trump and the whole thing of black celebrities. It's a positive, but still, like I agree with you too. But that's kind of like,
no. What I'm saying
is, as long as it works. I fucks with it. It's like superstition. As long as it works, okay, good.
I'm with you. That's what I'm saying. So my thing is, if I knew that from day one he was going to be in office, he got Ben Carson as the only black person he got in there. And anytime Steve Harvey tried to meet with Ben Carson so they can get some stuff built in Detroit for black folks, housing, whatever, all that. They got chased by our community to go back home and not do anything. So we gave up 4 years of our life just to hate on a guy that's going to be there that might not like us. Just because you don't like us, he said bad things about us and all that. We hit on the idea of actually having a conversation with him, and we might have been able to get something from that. But we told everybody, don't talk to him. The folks that were trying to talk to him said, don't talk to him. The one that talked to him, because he crazy, Kanye, like you just said, he got something good out of it. Now, we can't even name one bad policy that he pushed. There was anti.
Nah.
We can't name.
I agree. Black wise, no.
Yeah. All right.
Some policy did.
I'm in dangerous grounds here. Talking about Trump. So I want to try to defend myself. I'm not saying that he's a good guy. I'm not saying that everything he said, because he said all those racial things that we should not listen to what he's saying. I'm saying we need to stop acting emotional. We need to stop thinking policy wise. Just like every time in this show the last few days, what I've been talking about is, don't get carried away by the fact that we have this guy in there. I'm bad with names.
I got you. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop you right there, because we on the top of the hour. It's 6 my time, and I think it's 9 your time, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So top of the hour, because we kind of got off the topic of the show, but it's still circling around. No, that was on me. So let's go on ahead and show y'all. If y'all love this show and you want to see great things happen with it, support us. And here's the commercial to show where to support us.
Yes.
Here we go, and we will be right back. And we are back just like that. For anybody, if you want to see the show grow and you to feel a part of it, go to that site at the bottom. It's going to be there for a little bit. Go to Ko-fi.com/fade2black. $3 donation goes a long way. Please not give us your life savings, please. We know this tough times out here.
Look, we ain't
So
trying
don't
to be on no American greed.
Yeah,
This
nah,
is not no
we're not-
Ponzi scheme.
nah. So donate, help to improve the show. Now let's go ahead to the second part of this show. We already, kicked in the door on the start
YouTube
of this
politics.
topic. So
we showed the rabbit hole that is YouTube.
right. So now the question is this. That I'm gonna leave on the floor. Is Black YouTube more informative than the Black mainstream? Meaning, when I talk about, I'm gonna use my dog, Benjamin Dixon. I love Benjamin Dixon, even though I wrote him so he could come on the show, and I ain't got nothing back. That's when when you get a big following, you pretend you don't know nobody, even though he don't know me. But But other than that, like a Benjamin Dixon, I believe he's very informative. Just like me and Mayo, we look at the same politics the same way. And so do you think that right now the actual new Black media, influential Black media that actually do go boots on ground for the stories, are they the new mainstream?
I feel like in the sense of Black YouTube, everything that encompasses what most Black YouTubers are creating their content off of, being politics, music, behind the scenes, gossip, and revelations, as well as conspiracy theories. I feel like, yes, it is more influential because it hedges its bet, as it covers the bet. It hits everybody in the head. There's something literally for any and everybody to catch their attention at any given moment. And there's enough creators out there with different persuasive and presentation points to catch your eye even more. Versus what we see as mainstream media, there truly is a lack because it's mainstream and it has to hit all the paying people versus all the people that need to be informed.
Right. Hey, Teach, welcome to the show, Teach. We missed you.
Good evening. I am so sorry. I will not give an excuse except that I was on the road coming back from Ohio, and I said, let me take a quick nap, and I left my computer on. I said, I'll hear the ping when it, and anyway, nature woke me up, and my mother said, it's 9 o'clock.
When grown folk take, look, understand this. When grown folk take quick naps, it's really a power nap / small hibernation. Think of it as safe mode on your laptop, on your PlayStation. We running, but everything is not. You got to hit that button. You got to hit that button before it kick on.
Hey, it could have been because she was having herself some cheddar boy popcorn.
I knew you was going to tell me about that.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first half of the show, sponsored by Cheddar Boy Popcorn. Hopefully, I can get into focus. That's the new sour cream and cheddar.
Cheddar, wow.
So, all right. So, T. So, basically, what we were talking about is Black YouTube versus the Black mainstream. And my question was, is Black YouTube the new mainstream, more informative than the Black mainstream? What do you think?
I am not familiar. I'm just,
Okay, I help you
That's
out.
honest.
Yeah, that's all. But I'm gonna help you out. So when you want to hear news, you're not just the news that you hear like every day and all that stuff, but your type of news, the news that affects you. Where do you tune in? Where do you go?
Facebook.
I love it. I love it.
Facebook.
That's honest. That's
Zuckerberg.
Well, what I do, I mean, to be honest, I'll check Facebook to see what people are talking about. If it's something of interest, I will, turn on the news, and catch it
Okay.
that way.
Yeah,
But,
that's what I'm saying. Like, do you turn it on
Yeah.
or do you go on YouTube and watch somebody's different view? I think I should have made it more
when it comes, now, who's a good one on this? My mother. She YouTubes everything. How to make a napkin, how to make a cake, how to put studs in a chair. my mother, yes, she is the one that YouTubes for all answers.
Okay, so let me go ahead and stop you right there. Everybody, Mayo, Beast, hold what y'all got. I got access. Now I know it's disrespectful to ask a woman their age. How old is your mother?
She's 77.
Ladies and gentlemen, 77.
That's what's up. Absolutely, that's what's up.
77. First and foremost, you already asked the question with that, because if your mom is going on YouTube, I wonder where she get her news from and other informations from too as well. And that is YouTube. But T, just to get you caught up to what we was all talking about here. So we was talking about Roland Martin and the Black Authority, which I was talking about the Black Authority. And Black Authority got this beef with Roland Martin because he think Roland Martin is bad for Black people and that he's part of the Democratic establishment. Mayo, he elaborated on it a little, not a little bit, a lot. And me, who likes Roland Martin, but like I said, I do have my disagreements with him, definitely when it comes to like progressive politics.
By the way, I said I like him too. I like him.
You said you like him too. We said like him too. I got you.
But not the way it does, But yeah.
Right. So the Black Authority, not only does he thinks that Roland Martin is too close to the establishment, that he's just a puppet, but he also believes that he's the new Black media because he believes that he's reporting more news, or at least giving it a Black twist on it when it comes to news. Even though Roland Martin actually goes out to the towns and get people that are affected, or like, let's say, I'm gonna use the Breonna Taylor situation for example. He actually had the NAF, what's the Grandmaster? What's his name? Grandmaster Jay, or if I said that right, he actually had him on the show. He actually had the Defender on the show. So my thing is, I'm not going to challenge Oprah. When Oprah got the resources, she could do whatever. She got experience in the game. I'm just starting out my little following. So what do you say for those folks on YouTube who are challenging basically these conglomerates?
Well, in the case of Roland Martin, he is a journalist, and yes, he through CNN, he had his own show. He got to know people, and then when they closed the door, he opened up another door that now all the big conglomerates are following behind him, and that's in terms of digital streaming. Okay, now all the big companies that shut him out, now it's like, oh, we digital stream, go to our digital stream station. So for me, Roland Martin paid his dues. Mm-hmm. And if he has contacts and connections that other people don't have, they sound like what they say, negative Nancy's to me.
Yeah, that was about this question. So, what do you have to say to like people like the Black Authority?
Well, okay. My husband told me about this. This I think it's BET News or something. News. He said he listened to it all the time. I haven't heard it, but he listens to it because I guess he's glad that they're Black. So whether they're objective or not, he likes it because they are Black. Whether they're good or not, well, he says they talk about everything. No matter what the topic is, they have a report for it. So he feels that they're very thorough.
Which goes.
That's the best answer I can give.
I'm a go ahead, Mayo, because I'm gonna find the video on the Black Authority. So
which is what I'm saying, because what I'm saying is that I can't speak for every Black person out there. I don't try to do that. What I can speak from is myself. That I look for objectivity in anybody who is in journalism. I look for objectivity. I look for political integrity and political courage. And that what that comes in is political integrity and courage comes in where you don't only just go in one way. That you're not just always going with the wind. You don't mind saying something that's unpopular to the group of people that you align with most of the time. And and that's where I have issues with the people that we've talked about. At least the ones I mentioned. Where they seem to always pick the safe side. Like like Dr. King talked about. The measure of a man is not, at a place of conflict, when they're facing adversity or controversy. So, I mean, I just think that, when I think of Roland Martin, he's accomplished a lot, and I appreciate what he's accomplished as a Black man. Oh, I know you about to play the video, so, but I just think, so I appreciate what he's done as a Black man. However, I also was a little bit disappointed not getting the objectivity from him and not getting both sides, not getting the balance. I'm down to believe in balance. Everything in life is about balance for me. That's what we're trying to seek. And if I don't get that balance in your reporting, then I feel like you're like, oh, I can't watch that too much. I'm seeking balance. That's what.
All right. So go ahead, teach, and then I'm gonna play a video. Go ahead, teach.
I guess when you said being balanced, I guess presenting an alternative view through the lens of the Black experience is balance in itself, because if you flip the station, go to regular program, you're going to get their view, and it is not going to be balanced. So why are you asking for Roland Martin or the Black Authority to be balanced when you flip the station and they're giving their view, it's not balanced either. It's an unfair weight.
Right.
It's an unfair weight. And we, my grandmother used to say, eat the meat and spit out the bones.
What?
Eat the meat and spit out the bones. So you putting an unfair weight on him. Oh, you want him to be balanced, but everybody else is spinning it, like Fox News. I feel they totally spin everything. There's no truth to anything that they say.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely no balance in Fox News, none whatsoever.
Don't get me started on OAN.
What?
So
just to understand, the balance is on the other side. Is on the other side. The balance is on the far left. Now, my balance for him is on the far left. I'm not saying that it should be balanced towards Fox. I'm saying be more balanced towards the far left. In opposed to the centrist. Like, oh, I have a friend who's a congressman. Bring him on the show, and always defend the congressman. And the fourth floor. So my balance is far left of him. I think he's becoming a part of the establishment. Anyway, I think I get it.
Oh yeah, but to be
so
fair,
you say he's not speaking for the common man. He's speaking for the manifesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let me go ahead and play this video. Let me be fair, because I know somebody probably already telling the Black Authority, oh, they talking bad about you. Yeah. This is his show. This is his previous show they had this week, and it was talking about what happened on Washington, D.C. So let me go ahead and get that set up for y'all. And y'all tell me what y'all think.
Video, as you can see, from Christina Bob. Boy, amazing. I wonder if the situation is as bad as she said it was here. See for yourselves.
Fucking traitors!
I mean, they threw the doors open like it was the Waldorf Astoria. You can hear alarms and everything.
Come on.
The security just standing there. I'd have been just
on. They
throwing
got
elbows
vests,
everywhere.
vests on. Tactical vests. I mean, yeah, there you go. I mean, there they are out there, and they just open the doors. Come on, drop it in. Come on in. That's just me, right? That's just me, right? I mean, they threw the damn doors open, and in you come. In you come. Hey, welcome to the White House. Welcome to the White House. Kick your feet up. Don't worry about it. Kick your feet up. It's all good. And you all understand this is just one of several. It's one of several. If you saw the video, if you saw last night's program, is this the end or is this the beginning? If you saw last night's program, you saw I showed you other videos. They took down barricades and let them through. Took down barricades and let them through. These are your people that you're dependent upon to have your back. These are the folks you're dependent upon to have your back. All right, not so sure if you want to do that, but okay. Now, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't go ahead and give you an update here. Somebody is shaking in his boots tonight. Somebody is scared and shaking in his boots tonight, and he can't even hide his fear. Jimbo Jangles Clyburn. Jumping Jim Clyburn, he can't even hide his fear. He is so scared and so worried right now. He's been the loudest voice. Now, remember, this was Mr. Stop Talking About Defund the Police. Remember that? He's gone from saying, don't say defund the police to saying we need to investigate the Capitol Police. Well, I'll be damned. Your black politicians really do have some sense when it's them under the boot. When they're in the crosshairs, all of a sudden they start talking like us again. No need for a long talk or conversation. Yeah, all of a sudden they're not in the mood to sell nobody out. They're not in the mood to give the police unlimited powers and leeway all of a sudden. All of a sudden. So old Jimbo Jangles was on CBS today. And, well, CBS a couple of days ago here.
All right, we ain't gonna give him too much clout, but what y'all think about that? What you heard?
It was entertaining.
Yeah,
it was entertaining. The only thing issue I have with faceless podcasters on this particular plateau is if you're not just being informative for the sake of entertainment, I refuse to take any weight or belief in what you say because you don't show your face. So the whole thing of him saying he's the new black media, well, when you think of black media, you think of Roland Martin. think of Tavis Smiley.
Mhm.
You think of AJ and Free. You think of
Yeah.
LeVar Burton. Hey, you think of Bill Cosby. You think of all you see your fucking face is the point I'm saying. Excuse my language. You see your face when you think of. So your words of and your statement holds little weight. Yeah, you might be bringing some information that Roland might not be given, or you might be presenting it in a different light, a different vantage point. But as Donnell stated earlier, the numbers don't lie. That man got more clout than you.
Mhm.
The experience don't lie. He got more clout than you.
Yeah,
You a green belt. He's a 5th degree. There ain't even no point in putting the color. You already know what it is. He's 5th degree. His color look like my hair.
Go ahead, step on him, Mario.
No, I think the old guy. I don't know the name again of the group, but I think that they prematurely celebrating what they want to have. I think, unfortunately, I think of Roland Martin like a Tyler Perry, and I think of people like him like a Spike Lee. Then they had the little beef for a short period of time. I don't think it always has to be either or. People have their preferences. I've always been the Spike Lee type, and this is my first time ever hearing this guy, and I'm wholeheartedly a fan of his now. I mean, even though I kind of cringe him as he talked about James Clyburn, because that's my frat brother, and I met him before, and it was pretty cool.
Hey, when you start listening to his podcast, he don't have a lot of nice things to say about
James Clyburn.
Yeah, not even just him, but other guys of your fraternity, because he believes it. Because I believe Roland Martin, he's part of the
Alpha. He's the alpha.
Yeah, he always talk about him being alpha.
And the Boulay or whatever.
Boulay, and they believe that the Boulay is an actual like a black arm of the Illuminati, which is
right.
not.
I've heard that. I mean, I don't believe that.
And he pushes that narrative. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and continue.
So I mean, so for me, I get it. I mean, I just because I've always lived in the neighborhood, and I know it's not like. I don't feel like people in the neighborhood just choose to be, it's almost like if you've not seen opportunity. I think I forgot on my show one time before I used to have a radio show, we had a debate about if everybody should have to go to college or not. And I said I believe that everybody should have to go, because it's not like everybody needs it. But it's not like everybody needs to graduate, but everybody needs to get experience and understand what, if you've never seen it or ever experienced a little bit of it, you don't know if you want it or not. If you don't never have the opportunity to it, then you never exposed to it. So, the fact that Roland and us, or anybody, I want to say us, and yeah, I'm thinking of us, but anybody who's not in the mindset of, I don't want to even, I'm trying to be careful about talking about my people, my neighborhood. But my point. Anybody who's in the mindset that that I'm just cool where I'm at. I don't need to to
invest in next level.
Yeah, to evolve. I don't need to evolve. I need to invest in something bigger than I am or better. I just like to. I don't. Who am I to tell them that they're not doing well? But I also know that I've been in some of that space before where I've almost been arrested. But thank God to the fact that I knew that I had people who told me that you can find something better to exposing yourself and evolving out of the space you are and getting something better. That's why I know that I've been able to see other things I know that they probably have not seen. I know people that have not left Columbus. I know people that have not left the block that they live on. I mean, and it's hard for me to say, I feel sorry for them, because it's like, who am I to say that? But at the same time, I know that I'd rather be here than to be in the place where I've not seen the things that I've seen being outside. So that's where I get mad at folks who are in Congress and all that stuff, because the opportunity that they've had themselves to get, I just wish that they pull them up to that level, and they can do that more by doing their jobs more. But a lot of them, it's from me knowing that the fact how politics works and how government works, it's not like it's so hard for them to fight more. Like I talked about the whole thing to going to OAU and all that stuff. It's not like, I don't think the idea is something that never came to their mind. It's just like, forget that. That's radical thinking. I mean, some of them get to the point where they feel like, I'm on a level where We don't do all those things no more. We're worried about big time things. Call the CEO of this. Let's talk to them. Forget they don't say forget those people in the neighborhood, but it's kind of like let's leave that to some other time. You get that feeling. So I'm just saying that what those guys are saying, they're mad at the folks who represent us at the highest level, and I don't blame them for being mad. I joined them, and I just feel like they're not there yet where they want to be at. So they should not be saying that they're the new media. They're probably gonna be there. It's kind of like a kid in high school who's like the LeBron James in high school and the Kobe Bryant when he was in NBA. LeBron was known to surpass Kobe at some point.
Getting there,
but he was
developmental.
He was not the best player in the NBA because he was not in the NBA. The fact is you're not there yet. You got to get in there and become what you are. So that's where I think that they're going to be the next wave.
Yeah, they have to pay their dues. They have to pay their dues. Their time in. They had to make some sacrifices.
And so to talk about the Black Authority and other YouTubers, just like Tariq Nasheed, they got documentaries. Only thing I know about the Black Authority, he just does documentaries. That's it. He did a few billboards last year about what happened with Breonna Taylor, and then also for his and I think that was in 2019 when he had his last documentary. I think it's the Race War. And he did billboards and he was paying for ads and all that stuff. And Tariq Nasheed, he's the one that started the documentary game. He's the one that really started with Hidden Colors. And then he went on, he did like talks with, and he also did books, but it wasn't like geared to what he's doing now with like the Black conscious. So he does his little YouTube, Instagram to his audience. He also does talks. I don't know if he go to colleges. I think he just go to like, have that convention centers and all that stuff. And he also has a little music project that he puts out from time to time. My point is, it goes back to what Teach was saying, where you get this following, you think that you're established. Like I'll never want to get to a position. Hopefully none of y'all get like that. Once our show gets enough where people's like, hey, I remember you off the show. You was on hashtag Fade to Black, where we get to a point where we feel like we established. I do want to feel established in my own right, like, hey, we're here. Respect it.
I feel like a person shouldn't feel established. It's cool. You recognize when you're in that position. Like, hey, ain't you?
Right. And so
you ain't established until somebody say that from a company or from from a corporation. Like, hey, I'm such and such. Ain't you from Fade to Black?
Or if you have somebody like Roland Martin or like a Tim Black or Benjamin Dixon or somebody from the Young Turks come up to you like, hey, I see you. Like when Lil Wayne, I'm not the biggest Lil Wayne fan. I already mentioned this on the show. When Lil Wayne was coming up, he got that pound the back, that go ahead from Jay-Z when Jay-Z gave him a call and said, I see you. And that's when Lil Wayne felt like, dang, I'm here now. I'm the man now. I just think, I understand, respect is not earned, it's taken. I get that point. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that are angry, just like God dang it, Jason Black. That's the name, Jason Black. He's angry, he's mad, but he also gives out good content. I will say that. But then there are times where he does go overboard, where he criticized Roland Martin. That's the part that I don't like, because when every day you criticizing somebody proves that person's success. It's like if I'm having a debate with any one of y'all, when we have I won't say a dialogue, like a heated debate, and it goes to me giving you a name call, you already know who won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You
pretty
already
much.
know who won. If I have to go deep, already have to go deep in the dirt just to prove my point to go against you, that shows I don't have nothing to stand on. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Or I just ran out of ammo and now I'm just shooting blanks.
I like
And
that.
so
I like that.
yeah. So that's when it get lost in translation. All the things you could be talking great, could be talking all the things, but here's me as a viewer watching his content. Here's why you are out of Roland Martin's league, and not only just Roland Martin, but also to the big main networks. You can't call yourself, and it goes back to what you were saying, man. You cannot call yourself the new black media when you're not out there when the stories are breaking down, or even stories that's not being reported. Because I just can't sit here and sit behind a mic and sit there and report these stories, but I'm not there. I am going right. I'm going by articles that is written by the mainstream that I criticize in the same breath. So that makes me a hypocrite right there. That's not a journalist. So when people sit there and say you the black media, you criticizing the mainstream media just to give your take does not make you a new media. You just become an opinion. I won't say opinion piece. You just going on the show giving your view on it.
You become a soapboxer.
It is opinion. If you're a journalist goes out to get the story,
right,
not to analyze or criticize someone else's story. So what I guess we have to further define a YouTuber. Is he or she a true journalist? Does they practice journalism, or are they practicing cut and paste?
Well, but the question is who does today? The question is who does today? I mean, I don't think Williams everywhere covering stories.
The answer, the truth of it really boils down to in this technical digital age.
Yeah, the culture's changed.
Who has live footage? Like I stated before, you can't claim to be black media if we don't know what you look like.
Good one.
Right.
Every black name in black media has an instantaneous face and an instantaneous name. You remember them together. If you don't remember that, you remember Kadeem Hardison. Why? Because he was Dwayne Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Jasmine Guy. You remember Cree Summers. You remember Lisa Bonet. Shall I continue?
Al Roker.
But
there you go.
But there are radio people in media too. I mean, like Tom Joyner.
love Tom Joyner.
Well,
Tom Joyner. But see, that's broadcasting. Like what he's doing is journalism, broadcasting journalism, like Larry King. Larry King is himself not considered a journalist, but he does operate in a journalistic integrity and manner. He's not out there himself, but as soon as he hears a story or he gets all the information that he needs to verify it, he will present that story like a journalist. And he will have actual journalists, foot soldiers, if you will, on the show as well.
And the difference is they show their face. We all know who Tom Joyner is.
Once again, I go back to the point.
I want to
know who he is.
Quick pushback. Quick pushback is I think that, and I always like to make sure I state this is the reality of what we are sometimes, and what I think that we should be. I think that should not really matter, really, in reality of what it should be. But the reality of what we are as black culture is that we want to see you more. We want to, we want to see you celebrate. It's kind of like, I think
we want to know who you are.
Yeah, we want to know who you are. It should not, but I'm saying it should not matter. The messages should be what matter. Kind of like when I was talking about the whole thing about meeting with Trump or not. Is it about how emotionally it makes me feel, or if I can get him to pass a policy that will help me in that time? I mean, don't we get emotional about it? So there's some things that are reality about us right now, but we can change our reality and the way we do things to make sure that it's more advantageous for us by being more in different ways. So we should not really care about seeing somebody or not. I think that if they give me good content, it should be good.
Well,
I think it should be different, but it's not
under,
like that.
under that pretense, because as you were saying this, I was thinking it under that pretense, as I stated earlier, with being broadcast journalism, you should just kind of he should create his own niche of podcast journalism, which is a facet of broadcast journalism where you don't necessarily have to show your face, but like a broadcast journalist, you are giving the current news and all the viable information at that time. And when more information comes in, more credible witnesses and eye statements come in, then you continue to inform. But you don't necessarily, like you said, you don't necessarily have to show your face with broadcast journalism. So just switch broadcasting to podcasting journalism, and we won't have a question about what he's doing. He's just another facet of journalism.
Now, here's what I think about it, because I'm gonna meet you in the middle of the road, because I get that part. Like, if you have the podcast, because that's why I started off with the podcast, but also I had my Facebook attached to it, so they know this show has a face. So when you want somebody to give you your respect due, of like, hey, I listened to the #Fade to Black podcast, y'all be talking on some real ish, and they don't know who you are. It kind of, but then you want people to give you your respect. They're just gonna know you just by your voice, and if they don't know who you are or put a face to the voice, you be like, "Hey, that's me on there." It's gonna be hard for them to believe that it's you. So
you're gonna have a dead mic moment at Big Biscuits.
Right. You're gonna have to, you're gonna have to show your face sometime, because he did say, heard that he said that if he shows his face, that his movement is going to be taken away from him. He said he had more strength with his viewers. I'm paraphrasing. The way he had more strength with his movement if he become faceless.
Werewolf.
Yeah.
He never showed his face.
He's never showed his face. He never shown his face.
I mean, DJ Vlad is the same way.
But we know who he looks like.
Interviews. We eventually found out who he looks like, and that was after years of scrutiny from the public. After many interviews that he did led to incarcerations and jail times for rappers, and a lot of bad publicity. It was kind of urged that, hey, we need to see what this nigga looking like, because we need to see who this dude is getting these niggas so comfortable with exposing themselves. That was what the public was seeing. So we urged that.
I'm gonna use this weak analogy. It's like you paying rent at a house for a landlord that you never met, and for some reason, let's say I'm gonna say it in a very nice way, they're good to you every time you have an issue and a problem. Like, let's say your freaking air conditioner went out, they got you a new air conditioner, or the floor rotted, they have already had people there, fixing it, and you want to introduce yourself so you can thank them for it. Eventually, they're gonna have to show their face. I want to see who I'm paying this rent to, because they've been so good to me.
No,
and I want to actually meet you.
Most of us never.
Even that's a weak analogy.
We meet the property manager. No. We never meet them. Most of us never meet the owner of the property. We might meet the property manager, or even the receptionist of the property manager.
And see, maybe that's just coming from me. So that's maybe.
It's funny. It's funny, even though it's a very weak analogy. I understand it wholeheartedly, because I just went through this recently where I'm living there. Where we changed. Now, for real, like we changed property, like ownership of the property switched over, and it happened right before a tornado hit. So as a result, they're doing all this extra renovation on top of the planned renovation. But throughout the whole time, the property manager was completely cool with everybody, no help, did complete due diligence and excellent customer service. And they showed their face too. And I ain't gonna lie, I was in a situation fiscally where under any of the circumstances, my ass would have been on the street. And they worked with the player. And, they worked with me, and they knew that I was good for it. And I did what I needed to do. And like he said, I saw that woman, and I was like, yo, thank you. Like, if you need anything moved, if you need to borrow my dog to scare somebody, if you need me to beat up somebody for you, just holler at me. Like, I got you. Like, for real. You looked out for me in a position where you didn't have to, like, I want to say I love you, but I feel like it would be awkward if I say, like, that's how you feel. So I understand when you talk about, like, you at some point, if given the opportunity, you want to look at them at least personally
to know what's the face behind
make
it.
some kind of personal connection and attachment to it.
And see, and that's where I'm coming into the middle of the road with you, because I understand what Mayo. I understand exactly what you're saying. Like, if you keep putting out the good, use my weak analogy again, just keep doing what you're doing. Every time I ask, I appreciate it. My door's broke. You fixed it. Thank you so very, very much. And then on what Beast was saying that, hey, I would love to meet you, man. You've been so good to me. Let me offer you some dinner. Let me go ahead. I promise you, I can cook. Ain't gonna be no McDonald's. I promise. I can cook some fried chicken.
We hitting the grill. We hitting the grill, bro.
I probably might give you the itis, but at least I want I want to extend my appreciation to you. But what you think, Teach? Teach thinking that Teach just came in late. She's probably thinking about those Detroit meat she be cooking up and all that stuff. So I see how.
Let me help you with an analogy.
What I was thinking of was the Image Awards. In broadcasting and journalism, they give out awards. So what type of award would he be available for? What criteria would he meet or not meet, or anyone like them? But then I also was thinking that I do have a YouTuber that I watch every day, and she does not show her face. Every now and then, if she makes a video, she might just make an audio and just put her picture up, and that was the only way. But the content is entertainment. And I'm not so bothered by it, but I don't know. I just think that maybe this is his thing, that he is creating something different. Is that his? That's his.
That is his thing.
Creating something.
He's creating
personality.
uniqueness.
That's why I say the niche of it.
Platform.
Yeah, so and one thing I want everybody to do, if you haven't heard these two individuals, Roland Martin and the Black Authority, I encourage y'all to listen to them. Check them out. Check them out. Even though I got my thing against the Black Authority and I got my thing against Roland Martin, check these brothers out and decide for yourself. All these,
if I could jump in too.
Yeah. Go ahead, jump in real quick.
Both your analogies, the easy way, like where Mayo's property manager is somebody that's out of state. But you already know that they're off the rip. It's like, they good, they do everything you need, but they don't live in the same state that you do. So the chances of you actually meeting that person are next to nil. So the anonymous is cool with you. But it's kind of already established.
Good point.
So at some point gives you the establishment versus how you are. That's more of a local mentality. And most people generate a local mentality even with the internet. If I see you, I have some kind of ocular attachment. There's a human. I know that the voice matches some kind of face that I placed in my head. Because if you hear like my voice doesn't sound like how I look. Most people don't, especially if it's professional, they don't expect to see this face when I walk in the door. They expect to see some 6'2" white dude most times. So it is that whole, like, your mind can give you a visual that is not nowhere near the truth. So you kind of always pay in the back of your head, like, I wonder what that person looked like. Right. Because even with Vlad, like, I wonder what Vlad looked like, and I seen him, I was like, yeah, he kind of look like how he sounds. Like, I picture some Russian. I picture some Russian Albanian looking cat. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That works.
Right.
So I
want to ask something real quick.
Go ahead, man.
Real quick. One is that there's more than just Roland Martin and that whatever guy his name. That's
Oh yeah. And I was about to get on that point, but go ahead.
So there's a lot more, and even within the Real News Network, which is partly owned by Danny Glover, and who's a friend, from afar because he lives in California and all that. He partly owns the Real News Network, and I think that they probably spill out more real news than
I have heard of them as well.
And they have a young sister on there who does the black news, not only black news, but she does progressive commentary on the Real News Network, and she's real good. I mean, in the sense of bring millennials and all that stuff. And I'm gonna have her on my show, and I'm gonna invite her on this show as well in the future. So they do have that. Number two is that sometimes we have to think, and I'm glad you said that earlier, Brother Beast. Is like, like there might be reasons why somebody might be doing that because they might be speaking an unpopular message on their forum. And like for example, everything I say most of the time is unpopular, but I just know in my heart that it's integrity led. It's something that's led by the truth. It's something that's led by the principle of balance, principle of honesty, and the principle of love and fairness. So, and I know that's not most of the things that pushes people to do things. So I speak my mind without, but I also understand that there's a lot of backlash that will come with that, But that's one reason why I ran for office. I know that, I have enough political courage to know that I can withstand the wind when it comes, my way, because I'm walking against the wind, even though the wind is going the wrong direction.
Right.
So I mean, but some people might not be able to do that, but they know the truth and they want to get it out, and so for me, I afford them that opportunity to,
Right.
I would like to listen to them, regardless of who's saying it. My mindset is always thinking about what is the item, what is the subject. Now I don't care about who brought the subject to me. Like, and I did my last analogy, and I'm done. So, can you imagine? All of us know somebody done brought something to us about us before. They go like, I heard this about you, whatever. Every time I hear somebody tell me that, I'll tell them right away, I'm in to protect you. You don't have to tell me who told you, but tell me everything they said, because A, part of it might be true. B, because I gotta go do self-evaluation tonight to find out if that's true or not, to think to myself if they tell me the truth or not. B, I want to see what was leading them to say that. If this wasn't hating on me, whatever. So I want to dive into the subject of what they said, not into who said it to you. So don't worry about covering up, because sometimes be like, oh, somebody said it and I heard it. I'm like, don't worry about that. I care who said it. Just tell me what they said, and let me. So the issue is what I really want to focus on, opposed to jumping on personalities and who did this, who that. Like, let's dig into the issues. So with that's what I've always felt like we should be doing. So
I have a contrary view. Well, not contrary, but what I'm thinking. All this is new to me. This person said, and I'm paraphrasing, that they would lose their audience, or they would lose their fan base if they saw their face. So what is this person? Okay, so he has an anonymous online presence, and he speaks whatever it is he's talking. So in real life, he might be the pastor of a mega mall church, and he preaches the total opposite of what he is saying. So
I was thinking that in the back of my head too.
I would have to dig into who would he lose, because if he has an anonymous fan base and they see his face, either he's really, really ugly and he's, you just can't see his face, or in real life, he has a totally different, he's a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah. So he presents one face to his fan base of people that see him and know him and know or think they know his personality. And then he comes out into his alter ego online. So you don't know what that person is. Okay, I'll say it the right way, protecting.
Well played. Well said.
Right? We don't know what they're protecting. Their own identity, or the fragile mindset of those that follow him, either online or in person. We don't know
Maybe
what
he's a reverse Peyton Bixby.
And see, and that's a lot of people that don't like his content will say and it's funny because the criticism is kind of similar. Like people will come at Roland Martin and say you're too established, you roly poly, and then you got people that criticize Black Authority. Like we don't even see your face. You could be your freaking mic could have been altered for you to sound like a black man. You could be a white man. So yeah,
Exactly.
and
You could have just been a cool white dude that grew up around brothers.
But
so
Everybody got a white mic.
yeah. So going on to the YouTube. So I'm not criticizing YouTube because I watch YouTube a lot too as well. Like I said, I watch the Young Turks. I watch the Black Authority, but majority of the time when I watch the Black Authority, I get ideas, but then again I get frustrated at the time too. So I listen to Roland Martin, same thing. I agree with them, but then I get frustrated with majority of the stuff that he's saying because this is the material for my show to be like, you know what? Let us flip it. Let us say what we gonna say about it and see how we feel about it. I watched the Advice show, even though he changed the name to the African Diaspora Show or something like that. He's kind of I like his show too as well. He's kind of in line with the Black Authority somewhere a little bit. And then Tim Black, he's a progressive.
I like Tim.
Sometimes he ruffle my feathers, but I rock with him. I rock with Tim Black. I think my only thing that I have against Tim Black is he was a big Tulsi Gabbard fan, and I believe Tulsi Gabbard is she's a conservative in sheep's clothing when it comes to progressive views. And sad,
I'm a fan, but I'm okay.
Yeah, and sad thing is,
I know her too. I met her too. Not like I'm gonna call her. She's gonna pick up the phone right now, but
I'm not. I used to be a big fan of Tulsi Gabbard when she sported Bernie says, but she really exposed her hand. And sad and bad enough, she is a service member herself. But that's for a different show. But though, and then I also mentioned Benjamin Dixon. These are shows that I mostly look at for my information, and that I believe that Facebook is the new way. As I was saying on my opening statements, where I say, if you want to do something, go ahead and do it. And YouTube is the platform. I think Teach touched on it the last show about people going on YouTube and making a living out of it. Yeah. But also, there's a new competition that's going to be coming up soon. Excuse me about that. Competition that's going to come up soon called the Wet Network. But that's going to be for another time. But I do like that you got a lot of people. I give credit to the Black Authority. I give credit to the Young Turks. I give credit to the Vice Show. I do give credit also to Roland Martin, to Tim Black, and everybody like them who didn't like the status quo. And they just went out and decided to change it. And I use this show right here, this platform, as a big example. So they decided to say, you know what, we sick and tired hearing Chris Cuomo. We sick and tired hearing Jeanine Pirro, even on the right, even though they spew a lot more conspiracy theories and baseless facts and just peddle all that stuff out there. But see, the only difference is with them, they got donors. But anyways, you know, they sick and tired. They sick and tired of Jeanine Pirros. They're sick and tired of the Don Lemons. They're sick and tired of who said Rachel Maddow. They done with them. So they decided to start their own. You even had journalists from like big time newspapers decide to be like, you know what, I'm gonna start my own channel. And it just went on from there. I wish I could name one, but it's mainly from the progressive side. That's where a lot of news reporters from the Washington Post, from the New York Times, that's actually started their shows on YouTube and started to gain a following. They're like, we're done with this. And a lot more people are starting to tune in to their channels and get their information. But also be careful with these YouTubers that call themselves the new media or new black media, all those type of medias, because as we saw what happened last week when that news, where you got people, the impressionable minds, and I've been saying this on the show, where you got impressionable minds out there that don't do the research, that just go by what they hear. And that's why every time when I say my thoughts, I say this is coming from me.
Mm-hmm.
You got too many people that's sitting there trying to tell people what they should and what they should not be doing. That's why I always say this is coming from me. And that's why I don't believe in the this is my opinion thing. When you got people watching you, millions of people watching you, you're going to have a handful of amount that's going to take your word as value. You have to be careful, because like with Pizzagate, you had the Alex Jones. Alex Jones at the time was killing the game when it came to this YouTube thing. He was saying conspiracies about President Obama stinking because a fly was on his shoulder. Did you see his Obama skill when he killed that fly? I can't even do that. And the fly could be as fat and as slow, and I still can't get it. And he got it. But you got people like
I didn't even know that. So Obama killed a fly on TV or something?
Yeah, I think that was I think it's one of his first interviews. He just literally just stopped.
It's Obama. It's a black president. Anything the man wore a tan suit, and I heard him talk about it for 2 weeks straight.
Oh yeah, because he's like, it was unpresidential. And so, and these are things I'm talking about. When you have, right, and these are things that I'm talking about. When you have people like Alex Jones, and see, this is why we need the progressive media like Tim Black, like Benjamin Dixon, to combat that, to put out their views too as well. And then we have Tariq Nasheed and the Black Authority to talk mainly about the black issues and what needs to be done. But the issue that I have with all of this is, then all of a sudden it starts to become, I'm better than you and you know it. Oh,
I was just about to get into that.
And that's where the issue comes into play. And Roland Martin, and he still does it, he takes the high road. And I respect it of him, because he's like, yeah, I know y'all criticizing me. I know y'all coming at me, but guess what? I'm good over here. I must be doing something right for you to come over here to kick my ladder. But realize when you kick my ladder, you're taking 1 foot off yours, and you got to sway yours closer to mine. Mm-hmm. And so when I see other shows like this, or when I'm jealous when Teach go on other shows and she kills it and she runs it and all that stuff, but that's a different story. I appreciate that. I'm like, okay, I could learn something, or I could network. Like, Mayo, you got your show, and I can't wait till we do a simulcast with your show.
Absolutely.
But that's how it should be. That's how it should be. When you should have saying, I'm all about black empowerment and da, but you over here knocking this person over here who also sees black empowerment, but you don't like how he's doing it. And this also goes to conservatives. Go ahead, Teach.
That goes back to that messianic complex.
Mm-hmm.
Only one can be right.
Right. When you look up into the sky at the constellation at night, there are many stars. And they look like they're evenly placed out. Some shine brighter than others. Some look like they're closer to Earth than others. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, they all shine in the skylight. So why would anybody that's really truly focused on themselves ever spend time focusing on someone else? That means that person is out of balance. Like the sitting number 45. Obama this, Obama, everything Obama, because he's not doing his job. His focus is on him. He did his 8 years. He's done.
Right. Leave him alone.
There's no reason to bring him up. Just do what you're going to do, but he's not focused. So I would say this to all these that want to kick anybody. What are you doing? How bright is your star shining? When we look up at the constellation, can Can we even see it?
Right.
Since you use constellations, it's a disorder. If you're talking about like thought process, think of it as a mental disorder. It's a North Star disorder. Out of all the stars in the constellation, everyone knows and is taught that the North Star is the one that is supposed to give you automatic direction on where you're going. If you can't figure out where the hell you at, find that North Star. Don't they always tell you that? Campus, survival, North Star, North Star. You hear that all the time. So, and you have this perverse mentality that the North Star is the best star because when it comes to my actual survival, that's the star I need to focus on. So they try to put that mentality on them. Yes, go ahead.
Hey,
go ahead.
Forgive me because I'm kind of gonna throw shade because remember the last time we heard North Star on this show, so I'm just gonna leave that. Your North Star is not my North Star. Stop, boy. I don't think Teach get it. Oh, she do.
I remember.
No, I don't. You might have to.
Oh, you know?
You might have to.
Yeah, I talked to you. I'll talk to you.
That was from a former entertaining guest spot show.
Yeah, yeah. Now you see what we're talking about. So yeah, I just had to crack on that one. But yeah, I just love how these YouTubers are creating their own status quo. Mayo, Mayo, I think you are a perfect example for changing the status quo with your show. I actually I was watching a little bit of your show that we was talking about the other day, and I was like, dang, I said this is pretty dang. Y'all just everything y'all was talking about, y'all just always had like a laugh or a little funny to go with it. I was like, yo, this show is pretty entertaining. And I know that's your life.
It's like with homeboys just talking. There's a conversation. So I mean, it was much because of who it is. I mean, I have almost respect for Cornel West. You know, I know a lot of us hate on him. Not us, in the sense of us on this show, but a lot of black people. But because of he was critical about some of Obama's actions, whatever. So, I like the fact that everything about him is just about being real. So it was able to, and if I think it's just the personalities. So. There's some people that have that personality where it's like, you meet him anywhere. You like the brother. I mean, I talked to him probably like 3 times or 4 times when we had that show, and we kind of got a little bit of claim with each other. But he would have thought like he's my high school teacher or something. Or someone who I've never so long. So, but it's a beautiful thing. I think that but I just think that with this whole thing we're talking about, sometimes I even wonder why even compete. Why compare the two? I don't. I'm talking about in the sense of Roland Martin and I keep saying the other guy.
The Black Authority.
Black Authority. So, but I'm going to try to go listen more now because I mean, obviously, of what they were saying, they kind of got me excited because I'm more on that side where like radical change is what we need. We need people to stop selling now, and I'm saying selling now in the sense that
Black Authority does make some of our points. He make up a whole lot big points.
Well, and I might be harsh saying selling out because it's from my perspective that coming from where we're from, in the sense of our history of black people in general, all the struggles we've had, you don't just get there and just be like, oh, I made it, guys, like, oh, okay, the guys on my level, we can keep trying to push up, and they don't say to forget everybody else. They claim that they're helping, but you don't see the results of the helping as much as they can. I mean, like the whole idea. I mean, I cannot get over the whole thing about the Black Caucus thing. I mean, like for years, because we keep rolling and to keep thinking like, what can I point out to say that this is what the Black Caucus have gotten for us the last 60 years or the last so many years? I mean, like name that legislation like after affirmative action. Which I don't know if they actually did that or not. I mean, in the sense of being the ones that actually pushed and got it. The caucus itself, because I think the caucus was smaller back then in the 60s. But since then we have the largest caucus in Congress today, the Black Caucus. It's the largest caucus in Congress. I mean, and you trying to tell me that you can't point at one thing like this is what the Congressional Black Caucus. And it's like to some level you start thinking again like like look at all our inner cities. Where are people being shot at? Even this year, when the whole thing happened with guy George Floyd, Obama came out with the first thing he said, first piece of comment he made was that we have to start one in the cities and our mayors and our city councils who are mostly Democrats, because they are the ones that can solve that issue. It is not, I'm joking, it's not Trump, but
North
it is
Star
not.
disorder.
Yeah.
So it's a local issue, but most of us don't. That's civic and political education. We don't understand the local, the state, the national level, the difference between the levels of government and the legislative branch, the executive branch, and we do not. I mean, it's so bad, that's what we should be fighting for. If we start to get that in our schools, we will solve most of our problems. Because at that point, we would not listen to CNN, MSNBC, Fox, or anybody else. We would have our own mind.
And see,
The schools ain't for education, they for performance, but they messing up.
See, ladies and gentlemen, what you just heard was a conversation that me and Mayo had after the show when he first came on. Me and him had that conversation, and I always say, people us black folks don't know or understand what politics, or at least the basics of politics. Just think just because it's going wrong.
I wouldn't say we
town,
understand it. We don't take the time to think about it.
Right, and it's
most of us don't honestly take the time to sit and think about it.
Right, and it's simple than you think. I mean, it's just like, when you hear, "Damn, I gotta change the tires," like you got people that don't know how to change a tire. Somebody can just go ahead and just jump on in, like, "Oh, I got this crowbar here, and I can." And sometimes they got the little crowbar with the car, but everybody know that the cross crowbar, usually with that. But still, that's with us when it comes to politics, because when they think it's happening locally in their town, they think it's the president's fault. It's not. It's dealing with your local elected officials. That's who it is.
If we don't see it on TV, we don't. If we don't see it on TV, we don't pay attention. Like the only reason why we pay attention right now, like I bet there's more black people today, and this is the sad part. It's good and bad about it. There's more black people today that know more about the United States Congress than their city council. Because this whole thing going on with Trump, people storming the Capitol. I'm hearing people that I've never heard about politics talking about how dare they storm the Capitol. I'm like, oh, okay, look at this Negro pen here. I mean, you're like, oh, our American Capitol. You violated our American. You're a traitor. You're treason. And I'm like, all these things that said on. I'm like, wow, okay, my bad.
Or the anti-maskers, you got the sign right out there that says you're no service. Because I predicted this. I talked to my conservative co-worker months ago. I told him, I said, watch, the mask, this COVID is going to mess up everything. You know how like when you walk into a store where you got shoes, no shirt, no service. I said, watch, it's going to be shoes, no shirts, no mask, no service. I said, watch, give it a couple months.
Oh, no.
Everywhere it works. Yeah, and so then when they started having those mandates, that's when the videos of the anti-maskers started to happen. And I went to him, I said, I told you. I said, all these stores definitely here, they say you are required to wear a mask. Knock on wood, they could. Go ahead, go ahead.
They need to enforce that. I went to Washington, D.C., and I was kind of lax because I'm always at home, so I don't wear my mask because I'm at home. I kind of lax, and but they were like, "Wear your mask at. Wear your mask. Put your mask on." Very aggressive about it in that D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. Okay, but I just came back from Ohio,
and they lax.
You see all those signs, but nobody had a mask on. So if I get the EBGBs, I got it from Ohio.
She's gonna.
I was scared because
you're gonna bang the whole state.
Yeah, all the
Ohioans. Every one of you.
You can't go sit down and eat in the restaurant. And my husband like, come on, let's go to this restaurant. I'm like, can't you order out? The restaurant,
eating nobody.
Everybody's sitting there with no mask on, and I'm like,
because now I'm getting nervous because now they got that second strand of COVID-19 that's already hitting Colorado. So now we already worry about this one. We still in the second wave of just the coronavirus. Now we gotta worry about the same.
They have two new strands. They just announced Wednesday, and they don't have on a mask.
But
You motherfuckers multiplying. The
Huh?
coronavirus sound like baby kids. Just like, Heifer, didn't you just have a baby?
Right.
You having twins?
Yeah.
Who did this to you?
about the issue we're talking about, though, I think we are like that. We got to find a way to put more attention on local politics and more primary politics, And I don't know how we're gonna do. Maybe everybody that has a show needs to start having a show about their local. I mean, because the thing about it is that like we don't even us. Like, we're discussing people in public figure, national, like like we still are not using the local, and it's hard to use those because the folks who know the local stuff, they know who the mayor is, they know who the city council member is, so they might not want to poo-poo on their name, even though they might be doing wrong, they might not want to call them out, so to speak, so. And that's where I think I have a problem with our not only our community, but just the mindset that if I'm gonna let this city council or this mayor go because they're my friends or because they're black and they're cool with me, and I know that they're stealing money or whatever, then how can I point hand at somebody in Congress or at the state house or because and that's what we got to be careful. There's that parallel between letting them go and letting the guy who killed Dante, like down the street, like we know we killed him, but we all that code of don't snitch. So there's that parallel. We have to start working on the fact that if something is wrong, have the courage and integrity to say that I'm gonna do what's right. Because it might, even though that might not affect me, it's affecting somebody else, and it could be me that could be next.
Right. And see, and this is why we got this platform, and this is why we have you on the show, Mayo. This is why we got Nia Jope on the show. We got Beast Johnson, and then we have a special guest. We're here to break that chain. We're here to actually talk about it and talk about those touchy subjects that, honestly, other shows, they talk about it, but it's so lopsided. We can still see similar and eye to eye on things, but we still can have our, disagreements at the same time. So that's why I'm happy to have you on, just like T, just like Beast. And speaking of having anybody on, if you hear me, Professor O, come home. Come home. Come home. And before we go before we go into our final thoughts, before we go into our final thoughts, once again, we want to send our condolences and our well wishes to our panelist, Sipaway. He's still over there. He's still fighting the good fight with the UN to get justice, not only for his family, but for us Black people as a whole here in the United States. And hopefully, not even hopefully, I know that progress is going to be made, that he will come back on the show and that he will say that, hey, this is the progress, and we're going to hear great news. Not good news, but great news. Sipaway, if you watch it right now, dog, we miss you. We miss you being on the show. We miss you with I still miss him with the mic in his hand like this. He's talking like this. I miss him. We miss
what
we
first
miss
need to do is analyze.
Yes.
We miss you, brother.
Yeah, we miss you, Sipaway. It would be nice if you and Professor O both come on the show at the same time. Then we have a 6-person show, which would be great. But any final points? Any quick?
I can say fireworks.
Any quick word before we get to final thought?
My quick word is when that day happens, please share the video and think of this as one of those great Tarantino, Scorsese films, because it's gonna run about 3 hours. Oh, Mr. O, Seaway, we understand. We want you back, and we ready for that. We ready for that Gangs of New York great debate style show. It's gonna run about 3.5.
Hey Mayo, you're gonna enjoy yourself. Trust me.
It seems like it. I've heard a lot
And
about
then-
this brother, and I heard that he probably would like to hear my thoughts too. So it seems like I would enjoy it. So.
And don't worry, and Teach is
Don't
the
be
one.
scared.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. It
Never,
may seem
never. I
frightening.
mean, I know
No.
it's all about ideas. I'm all about ideas. So,
And Teach is the
I
one
love
that keeps
everything
everything in
ideas.
balance. Teach keep everything
Oh,
balance.
yeah.
Any quick notes before we go into a final thought?
Oh yes, when Mr. O comes back, Trump is a trigger word. Bad word. Don't say it.
You
Go
know
ahead.
something. I think we have to say a prayer for those people that follow Trump. They're very emotional about him not being in office, and they truly believe all of the rhetoric that he has spewed. And I see some people taking it very, very hard. And we have to be sensitive, I think, to these people's feelings and their views. And we have to be sensitive. I think, we're talking about Professor O, and I think he is one of those that is really taking it hard. It's almost, to me, it seems like a relationship gone bad and you got dumped and you wasn't expecting it, sort of kind of thing. I don't know how to properly classify it, but
It was the one boyfriend your mama had that you actually wanted her to marry. It was like, damn, I miss Steve. He was a good one.
I'm sorry, Teach, but like I actually
You just
saw
sipping on their
one of-
tears.
I actually saw not somebody, but like when I first got here, there was one of the co-workers that actually had a cup that says liberal tears. Those Trump tears taste so good because they've been drinking on our tears for how long?
Is that distilled and purified?
I think so. Hold on, I'm dealing with the people.
ask my mother. I had to ask my mother, for her years of wisdom, has she ever seen such an emotional attachment like we're seeing with the Trump fan base? We watch elections come and go, and people are disappointed and they move on. But if this one is like ultra emotional, ultra clingy, and they're feeling it deep down in their gut. But I have to ask Mayo this question, and I'm sorry if we're going overtime. What I'm saying, I have an international friends, but what I'm saying, primarily with the Nigerian friends, that those that are for Trump, they are over the top, all the way sold out for Trump. And to me, that's a phenomenon. Then I have the others that are not really so much into American politics, and they see Trump for what he is. And they don't claim, they're not claiming to be Democratic or whatever. They just analyze international news. But I just see that the people that are engaged with Trump, if one was good, oh, okay, that's my president, or I like his politics, that's fine. But these Nigerians, it's like they're on 1,000. And that
They treat him like Prince Philip, like a god.
No, I think what it is.
Like he's described in stories of old.
30 seconds. I hate to do this, but 30 seconds.
No. I think what it is even when I saw some people like in Nigeria that've never been to America, and they were supposed to be having some prayer for Trump or something like that. Like some people in Nigeria, there was a YouTube video. So it's laughable. And I don't get me wrong. We laugh at these people. I don't. I mean, like I said, I don't make fun of nobody. I don't think that anybody's crazy. I think that they, in their mind, believe that Trump is better, and they believe that he was cheated. And because of that, they're very violent about this whole thing. That's what we saw play out. I've been like that when I felt like Bernard was cheated from by Hillary, but I didn't go to the
Same
Capitol
here.
Hill. I knew I probably got shot. I mean, and plus I knew that's not the right thing to do. I mean, I knew what the right thing to do is. It's just move on to the next election, or maybe fight through courts and whatever, or maybe just pledge not to vote for an established Democrats anymore. I know. So anyway, my point to all that is that it's just we have to be mindful of everybody that we think we know in our minds, but they think they know, and somewhere along the way, we're all walking on them. The mind is the most dangerous thing. Is the greatest tool we have in our mind in our life, and their mind is telling them that I know this. We're not going to tell me nothing different. We think they're crazy. They think we're crazy. At that point, then nothing is going to change. We got to find a way to find middle ground. And if that's within our minds and our hearts, we find some middle ground. And the only middle, I'm done. The only middle ground I think we have is that a lot of them want the anti-establishment on the Republican and Democratic side, and we have a lot of anti-establishment on the Democrat side. What we can do moving forward now, knowing that we have Biden in office, is try to find a way to talk to them and say, we know you don't like all this stuff going on in D.C. Let's talk together about what we don't like. Trump is gone. Let's talk about what we don't like and see if we can find a middle ground. And that's what I think we have.
Only thing I'm going to say is how the Republicans bum rushed us in 2010s, because the decade was all Republicans, is do the same exact thing on the Democrat side. Parenthood, black rights, and all that stuff. Stuff it down their throats, and don't even extend your hand over there to the Republican side, and make sure that their seats that are up for election, that we flip them to blue. All right, let's go ahead to the final thought. And Beast, you are going to lead us off into it.
Okay. If we learned anything from tonight's show, is that YouTube, like all other 4 avenues of information, are one big ass rabbit hole that will lead you down a series of tunnels to God knows where you'll end up. The point I'm trying to make is no matter where you get your information, no whether you find your source of news, always remember that it's not the only source of news, and it's not the only source of information. So keep your horizons broadened. Even if you don't necessarily agree with that particular vantage point, hear them out. They may release some information that confirms previous information that you've heard from a more likable source, only further confirming what you've already believed. So don't necessarily just stick to the Black Authority or just stick to Roland. Hear everybody out. I go back to the whole thing with kids. Think about it is everyone is telling you information. The only way you're gonna know what really happened is if you hear everybody out, and eventually you hear every point, and somebody is going to start mirroring the other. Somebody's going to start filling in the blanks, and eventually you'll get the complete story if you just sit and listen to everybody. So keep an open mind and stay informed. Hope you enjoyed the show. Have a great evening and an awesome weekend.
Okay. So my message to end this show, and thank you so much for all those listening, is to try to find a way that we can focus more on issues and not personalities. I think we do as people. When I say people, I mean Black people and just people in general. Look at Trump, focusing on Obama instead of doing something for himself or for the country, But we focus too many times on people and individuals and personality instead of ideas, and the world is full of ideas. There's a lot of good things we can do to heal the world, to heal the globe, and if we just focus on the ideas and see what ideas I agree with and the ones that we don't agree with, we can probably better solve issues. But somewhere along the way, we get ourselves so bogged down into individuals and personalities, and that some of it might just be hate. When I use the word hate, not really jealousy. Some of it might be jealousy. I think hate is more of a commercialized word in America now. popular culture, but it's not. I don't like to use the word hate at all, but definitely jealous. Somebody might be jealousy, and we need to just be able to identify in ourselves whenever we see it coming out. Why am I focused on this individual? Why do I feel like the person, I don't like the person, in opposed to what they did? And if you feel like they continue to do the things, then just try to find a way to either vote them out if it's someone who's representing you, or if it's somebody who you cannot affect their station, then find another station where you can be at, or support somebody else who's in a different station who has a better ideology or ideas. And we got to get away from things like all black people skin folks can folks. If that's how it's said, I kind of forgot real quick. But not everybody that looks like us or talks like us is in our interest. And the way we can know, again, is going back to the issues. The issue of Medicare for all, issue of environmental justice, civil rights, anti-war, all those issues. You look deep into those issues and find out who on the city level is saying anything close to that. Not only that, but it's saying that and passing or proposing legislations that will help those issues. If they're not, then they're not on your side. I don't care if they're Democrat or Republican. If you're not seeing them do that, and if you're not paying attention, then you're giving them a blank check to write you off. And we can't just put everything on CNN, on MSNBC, because they will always be there for entertainment instead of the news. We got to focus on the issues, not personality, not individuals. Issues. Please look me up on social media at Mayo McKinday on Instagram, at Mayo 4 people on Twitter, and I'm the only Mayo McKinday on Facebook as well. And www.mayomckinday.com is my website. You can learn more about what I've done in the past and the things that we can do in the future together. So thank you so much. And you can actually donate to the campaign. That account that I have on there, that will be if I run again. Then I'll be able to use that to run and win. So thanks so much.
I think that in this day and age, as we go through these type of pandemics, I seen a post that said that by 2023, we will be a totally cashless society, and I believe they tried to implement that in the first part of the pandemic. So we every day we're slipping into the future. And so as we go into the future, let us see how we can utilize these platforms for those that's unemployed, but you got a good personality, you have some good content. Yes, put you up a YouTube channel and let them pay you to do what you do best. This is the new form of income. It is a new form of exposure. It is a way to pay your dues, so to speak, because I have a colleague that started a podcast, and now she's being scouted by major networks. So I believe this is, I believe it's a good platform for the future. And we have to carve out a part of it for us, to speak to us, to speak for us, to speak in us. So I applaud those that's going forward. I heard names I never heard before, but it gives me an opportunity to research them out and find out what they're all about. So I applaud anyone that puts forth their effort. I may not necessarily like their platform or their opinion or where they're coming from, but it's not for me to like, it's for them to do. And with that, I say, Kwaheri Yakukaona, goodbye until we meet again.
And once again, y'all did to me again. First of all, one thing y'all not going to stop me is to shout out to the sponsors. Sky Zone Society, thank you for sponsoring. Then also Real Cheddar Boy Popcorn. I got a host real close, real tight. Oh my god, I didn't even open the bag yet. Thank them for sponsoring the show. My final thought, it wraps up to my it's kind of funny. All of what everybody's saying on this final thought, is what I said is coming together. What I said from my opening statement. Just do it. Just do it. What's stopping you from living your best life, as they would say? If you don't like the ice cream that you're getting, make your own ice cream. Like if you're complaining that black folks don't have any land, there is land out here for sale that you get with some investors, or you get with some of your friends, or with me, get with battle buddies, put your money together and buy some land. You got to go out there and make ways for yourself. Now, for y'all religious types, I know there's a lot of Christians out there. I know there's a lot of Muslims out there. You are your own God. You make it happen. Get off your knees. Stop putting your hands together like this and put those hands and those feet to work. Only person that can help you is you. Your imagination, your willpower, that every fiber of your being can make it happen. Just like with our sponsor, with Sky Zone Society and Real Cheddar Boy Popcorn. This pandemic, well, mainly for the owners of the Real Cheddar Boy, they use this pandemic to motivate them to start that business. And now it's became a success. And Sky Zone Society just started their drones, taking pictures with drones. They didn't just sit there and just ponder. They went out there and they do. Just like this platform. Go out there, do, make your dreams come true. Done that right. Go out and do and make your dreams come true. Repeat that to yourself 5 times. And I promise you, sky's the limit. And that would do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Another great week gone. Or in the words of Ice Cube off of Friday, another day gone, another problem solved. Can't wait till Wednesday, because we're going to be observing Martin Luther King's birthday. There's going to be no show on Monday. So everybody
you spoke about Dr. King. Go out there and check out the pictures. There's 2 pictures in particular that just show you that Dr. King was a real nigga, because there's a picture of him smiling with a nice little short button up like this. With that smile, like hearing somebody say, "Fuck you, boy." Fuck you too, nigga. What's that in my face?
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back on Wednesday. Please enjoy your weekend. Please observe Martin Luther King's Day. Don't take it as another day off, like, oh, I have to go work. No. Read some of Dr. Martin Luther King literature, or watch his I Have a Dream speech, or what I would
watch
love
the movies about.
Yeah, but the one thing that people should be watching about Dr. King, look at his speech after his I Had a Dream speech, the speech before he got assassinated, because that's the one part of Dr. Martin Luther King people don't talk about, where he realized that
the one on Vietnam.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and he realized
also,
that.
Read the whole "I Have a Dream" speech, not just the part they play for everybody. That's like Lift Every Voice Sing. That's the first half. There's another part.
Right. So,
well, I'll say people should take the opportunity that day to think about everybody that worked with him, everybody that they also fought, the unsung heroes of that time. You know, because they want us to think it's one person that did it, but it was not one person that did it. He's just a front person that did it, but a lot of people did work, and they're unsung heroes, a lot of unsung heroes in our time. So I think people should research that too. Not to put no shade on.
No. I think everybody should know what led up to the civil rights movement as well, and also on Malcolm X too as well. And that was
Evers,
Oh, Medgar Evers.
Yeah.
The Ghosts of Mississippi. Oh my goodness, that move right there still gets me. But other than that, let's go ahead and head on out. We will see y'all Wednesday. Please observe Martin Luther King's birthday and also the history of civil rights. I have been your host, Dada Alamont Morris. As for Beast Johnson, Mayo, and Ania Job, aka Teach, thank y'all for tuning in. It's been real. Go outside, enjoy life, breathe in the fresh air. It's been real. Y'all have a good one. We're outro. Once I get my intros and all that stuff ready, and I'm finally ready. Y'all have a good one. See y'all Wednesday.
I'm trying to take care.
Yeah, man.